Trinity, the doctrine of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit as one God, emerged not from the lips of Christ himself, but from centuries of post-apostolic theological deliberation. Its formal establishment came in the early ecumenical councils, notably Nicaea, 325 AD, and Constantinople, 381 AD, driven less by spiritual revelation and more by ecclesiastical politics and imperial convenience. At that time, Christianity was expanding into the Roman world, where polytheism and the concept of divine hierarchies were deeply entrenched. The idea of a triune God, with Jesus as a divine figure subordinate yet consubstantial with the Father, allowed bishops to bridge Christian theology with Roman sensibilities. In doing so, they quieted political pressures by reshaping Jesus into a form of divine kingship that resonated with Roman ideas of Godhead. What began as an exclamation of a spiritual verity, a response to the awe-inspiring life and teachings of Christ, was eventually enshrined into metaphysical dogma. Yet, the very texts of the New Testament challenge the assumptions of this doctrine. Jesus is recorded as saying, "Why do you call me good? None is good except God alone." Mark 10:18. Such statements affirm a distinction between Jesus and the Godhead. They undermine the notion of ontological equality between God and Jesus and invite a more nuanced understanding of divinity, not based on static formulas, but on the spiritual station and mission of each messenger. Moreover, if Christians claim Jesus returned to God after death, they must accept that such a return implies motion, place, and spatial orientation, attributes inapplicable to an eternal, omnipresent God. God is not located in space or time, for he is the creator of both. To go to God would then be symbolic, not literal. The gospel narrative of Jesus ascending into the sky and vanishing into clouds cannot be interpreted as a literal change of location unless one assumes God resides in a spatial realm, which contradicts foundational theistic belief. This leads us to a deeper point. If God is truly beyond contingency, not dependent on motion, place, or incarnation, then assigning physical return or embodiment to him is theologically inconsistent. Either Jesus was going to God, and thus not God, or he was God going home, which again suggests spatial dependence and undermines divine absoluteness. In a more human sense, the Christian boast that Jesus is God often emerges in contrast to other prophets whose followers do not assign divinity to them. But this boast misses the point. Consider this analogy. If a Christian and a non-Christian argue whose prophet is greater, the Christian may elevate Jesus to divinity to win the argument. Yet this is no more meaningful than two engineers debating whose university is superior, while forgetting the goal is to be a good engineer. Likewise, the purpose of religion is not theological one-upmanship, but the cultivation of goodly character, fairness in judgment, and the refinement of the soul. Jesus himself never claimed to reveal everything. He said, "I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now." John 16:12. No matter how great a teacher Jesus is believed to be, if he admits the course is incomplete, no Christian can reasonably claim he delivered the final and complete truth to humanity. His words clearly imply another teacher like himself must come to continue the spiritual curriculum. Elevating Jesus to the moon or beyond it doesn't resolve the obvious non-completion of what humanity must know. If anything, it amplifies the need for continuation, not deification. In the end, emotional or communal reverence for Jesus' godhood may serve ritual or political utility, but it does not in itself prove divinity. The core of the matter lies not in creeds crafted centuries after Christ, but in his actual teachings, in the spiritual fruit they bear, in the lives of those who follow him. Let us then not be drawn into fruitless debates of form, but attend to the substance of faith, the transformation of the soul, the recognition of truth, and the welcoming of the next teacher when he appears.